In the forgotten corners of distant worlds where shadows breathe and reality frays, there are places no map dares mark. These are the dreaded realms lands carved by ancient horrors, haunted by creatures older than memory, and cursed by secrets that refuse to die. Tonight we open a new tale, a journey into a kingdom on the brink, where a summons from a desperate king will lead a band of misfits into the heart of awakening darkness. Welcome to Episode 1. The Summons to Ebonhold. Ebonhold, the beating heart of Valonrae, a sprawling fortress city of white stone and towering battlements where banners whip in the cold wind and history clings to every cobblestone. But lately, a shadow had settled over the capital. Merchants closed early, soldiers whispered, and even the sunlight seemed dimmer. Inside the city stood Silverkeep, the castle of King Baelor Greymantle, and today he had summoned an unusual group. Not knights, not nobles, but misfits. First to reach the castle gates was a deep gnome older than dirt itself. George Buzzwicket stomped forward, brandishing a royal summons like it insulted him personally.
"Here! Got your blasted note. Now open the bloody door before me, knees lock up like a rusty hinge."
Even the guards stepped back. Next came a shimmering vision in pink rhinestones and glam. Dusky gray strutted up the steps, hat tilted like she owned the place. She handed her summons to a guard with a dazzling smile.
Yes, darling, it's real. No, I didn't bedazzle it. It came that way.
It hadn't. Nyx arrived quietly, nose buried in a book older than some kingdoms. She walked into a pillar without looking up. Lily Rose approached shyly, clutching her letter like a lifeline. Her companion, Flacor, a magical canine with silver, shimmering fur, padded beside her. Tail glowing softly, Lily whispered to the guards. Finally, a tall Harengon stepped from the crowd, rifle strapped across his back, a massive, crudely made sniper weapon that looked cobbled together from nightmares and scrap metal. Zabby Locke said nothing. The guards nodded. He nodded back. An understanding. Before they could enter, a knight in gleaming armor shouted,
"Let me through. I had a summons a moment ago."
He checked his pockets, his boots, his helmet. Nothing. George muttered.
"Should have stapled it to your forehead, lad."
The knight gasped, but no one helped him. The doors opened. The interior of Silverkeep swallowed them in gold light and cold stone. Tall, stained glass windows painted the floor in sapphire hues, and the banners of Valonrae hung heavy in the silent air. At the end of the hall stood King Baelor Greymantle, steel-eyed, commanding, weighed down by a burden he had not yet shared. He examined the group, the grumpy gnome, the pink legend, the shy girl and her star dog, the distracted tiefling scholar, the Harengon with the too large gun. Baelor exhaled, "Gods help me. You must be the ones who answered the summons." George crossed his arms.
"We're the ones who showed up. Counts for something."
Baelor stepped forward, voice low, haunted. Black Hollow has gone silent, and something in the mountains is waking. The hall grew colder. General Gareth Morgrave vanished. His elite soldiers vanished, and now the sky above the mountains bleeds. He raised a trembling hand. "I summoned you, because none of my knights, none of my mages, none of my armies could explain the last message we received." He held up a torn scrap of parchment. 6 words. Words that chilled even the misfits. "The shadows are moving without us." The king looked up. "I need you to go to Black Hollow. Find the truth. If Gareth still lives, bring him home. And if something else is there," his voice dropped to a whisper, "do not let it reach Ebonhold." The misfits exchanged looks. The world was changing. Darkness was coming. and somehow they were the ones standing between it and the kingdom. George Buzzwicket stomped up to King Baelor as if approaching a long-lost enemy.
Your Majesty, Black Hollow's 2 bloody days away. You want results? We'll need horses.
Baelor stared at him for 3 long seconds, then sighed. Fine. Take whatever horses you need. Dusky Gray clapped dramatically.
Fabulous. I call the one with eyelashes.
After accepting the king's grim task, the misfit band gathered what supplies they could from the castle quartermaster. Rations, lantern oil, bedrolls, and whatever odds and ends George could pocket while pretending to inspect craftsmanship. Dusky Gray acquired 6 new scarves. No one sold scarves. She would not answer questions. Nyx stocked up on scrolls and ink. Lily bought extra food for Flacor, who absolutely did not need physical nourishment, but ate it anyway because he liked the crunch. Zabilok simply checked his rifle twice, strapped 3 belts of ammunition across his chest, and nodded once, intensely. They rode out from Ebonhold beneath a gray, sickening sky. The road wound through dense forests and over rolling hills, each mile taking them deeper into the realm of unease. As the sun dipped toward the horizon, the land grew quieter, too quiet. Even the insects refused to hum. Flacor padded beside Lily's horse, his fur shimmering faintly, reacting to something the others couldn't see. Whenever he growled softly, Lily would whisper,
"It's okay, I think."
She never sounded convinced. They made camp beneath the twisted oak, the fire crackling weakly against the creeping mist. For a while, the only sounds were the snapping of logs and Dusky quietly humming as she reapplied glitter in the firelight. Then, Flacor froze. His fur rose like a shimmering halo, eyes fixed on the darkness beyond the tree line. Lily's breath hitched.
Something's out there.
She was already on her feet, hands trembling. George moved before thought, closing the distance between himself and Lily with a speed that didn't match his age. His axe was in his hand, blade glinting red in the firelight. Zabby didn't say a word. He spun the rifle off his back in one fluid motion, dropping to a knee. Scope up, scanning the line where the shadows thickened. Nyx slowly lowered her book, eyes narrowing. Even Dusky stopped mid-hair flip, the silk of her sleeve frozen in the air. Silence. A long, heavy silence that pressed on their ears. Flacor's growl vibrated through the ground. Then slowly, gradually, faded. The dog-like creature lowered his head, fur settling, glow dimming to its usual soft shimmer. George exhaled. Zabby clicked the safety back on. Nyx tucked her book under her arm. Dusky let her breath out in a dramatic sigh. Lily whispered, voice shaking.
"It's gone, I think."
George gave a small grunt.
Aye, but we're not sleeping unguarded tonight. We pair up for watches. No wandering off alone, and...
He jabbed the end of his axe toward the fire. He glared at Zabby.
no shooting shadows unless they shoot first.
Zabby nodded once. Dusky raised a brow.
Sweetheart, nothing normal lurks in a forest this quiet.
The fire crackled, the mist thickened, and somewhere in the tree line something listened. Morning came reluctantly. The sky over the forest was a dull, hostile gray, as if the sun itself refused to rise. After a tension-filled night with nothing further emerging from the tree line, the misfit band packed up camp and continued down the winding mountain road toward Black Hollow. Flacor stayed close to Lily's side, his fur dim and uneasy. Zabby rode ahead, scanning every shadow through the scope of his rifle. Nyx read while riding, though even she glanced up more often than usual. George grumbled about young folk not knowin' proper danger when it's breathin' on their necks. Though his knuckles stayed white around his axe, Dusky tried to bring levity, twirling a sparkling scarf dramatically.
Honestly, darlings, if this forest gets any gloomier, I'm charging it rent.
By mid-afternoon, the road bent sharply, and that's when they saw it. A wagon. Shattered, twisted, abandoned. It sat in the middle of the path like a carcass left to rot, one wheel torn clean off, crates and belongings scattered across the dirt. Blood streaked the ground, not a pool, a trail, leading into the trees. George dismounted first.
Aye, something nasty happened here.
Nix knelt beside a broken crate, fingertips brushing splintered wood.
The brake marks are strange, as if the wood burst outward.
Lily held Flacor close. The creature whimpered, fur pulsing with soft warning light. Dusky lifted a crushed lantern from the debris.
Someone dropped this mid-run. And honey, whatever made them run didn't give them time to grab much else.
Zabi did not speak. He stepped to the center of the road, lifted his rifle, and scanned the tree line. Then he whispered, "Eyes!" At first they saw nothing, only the stillness of the forest. Then a pair of glowing blue eyes flickered from behind a cluster of dark branches. Then another pair, and another, dozens. Cold, unblinking, predatory. The forest leaned in, shadows stretching unnaturally as if pulled by invisible strings. Lily stumbled back. Flacor growled, fur igniting in shimmering silver light. George lifted his axe.
Show yourselves, ye cowardly...
Nix placed a hand on his arm.
Don't provoke it.
Dusky took a single step behind Lily.
Oh, no, that's not normal.
Zabi's finger tightened on the trigger. The eyes blinked. Not all at once, not like animals, but in a ripple, left to right, as if one mind controlled them all. Then something stepped forward. Huge, wrong. Its limbs bent at unnatural angles, joints bulging in places no joints should exist. Its face was stretched tight, expression carved into a permanent, lipless grin. It inhaled, a long, wet, dragging breath. The blue eyes behind it flickered brighter. Lily whispered,
George?
George swallowed hard.
Aye, lass, I see it.
The creature inhaled, a long, wet, rattling breath that sounded like death being dragged up from deep underground. Then its claws flexed, and it lunged, sprinting toward them with impossible, jerking speed. Behind it, the forest erupted with movement as the dozens of blue eyes surged forward. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy my short stories, consider subscribing, sharing, and liking the video. It all helps the channel grow and lets my stories reach more people. Sleep tight, and don't let the bed bugs bite.